Get the funk out of my face. Remember the Brothers Johnson? I always like their Strawberry Letter 23, their version of that one. That was a cool song. Anyhow, remember them? The Brothers Johnson there. Brothers Johnson, 1976. Yeah, skinny guys. All right, folks, how you doing? This is Dave TV for the 20th of August 2011. What's going on? Well, I was rummaging through my old memorabilia stash here the other day of that 1976 version of Phonograph magazine from DC 101, and found this on it. Let's turn the light on here so you can see what I'm up to. Here we go. And found this in there. This was a profile of Kelly Saunders, who recently passed away. We ran her obit about a month ago, and one of the first rock and roll DJs in the Washington market. I don't know if she was actually the first, but one of the first. She worked at a bunch of stations. She worked up in Baltimore for a while, too. Did some TV and radio work. And this is, anyhow, a little ad they took out for her, Kelly Saunders there. She did weekends on DC 101. And anyhow, I'm going to read this to you. Or you can probably read it yourself, right? Kelly Saunders is an outrageous person who comes to broadcasting from a theatrical background after graduating from Radford College. Hey, that's where my niece went. She taught English and dramatics in Halifax County, Virginia, down in southwestern Virginia. Disenchanted with the educational system, she quit her job to do summer stock in Middletown, which is up there in the Shenandoah Valley near Winchester. And I believe she worked at some radio stations up there, too. It was when she was out of work and down on her luck that a local radio manager heard her voice and offered her a chance on at the big time on a small station in Middletown. I believe that's the 99.3 signal, the current WFQX, right? That's the only station I know that's in Middletown, just south of Winchester. Since that time, Kelly worked in the Washington market before coming to DC 101, where she works in the special programs department. Kelly enjoys all kinds of music and occasionally, what does it say? It was drawn back to theater, but now is part of the audience. Kelly Saunders there, 1976, DC 101. So, tip of the old camo cap, which I'm not wearing today. Took a walk yesterday, didn't wear my camo cap and got my head burned as usual. But what else is new? All right, folks, what's the big news? Interesting stuff today. I got this letter in the mail from my wonderful cable provider, Comcast. You may know, if you live in the D.C. or Baltimore area, that Comcast flipped over their cable systems to digital. Okay, this was done a year or two ago on most of the area systems. I think Arlington was one of the last systems to get flipped over, and that was earlier this year. But here in Reston, we got flipped over about a year and a half ago, something like that. But they did leave a couple channels still in analog mode. Okay, they're on the basic cable thing. Well, apparently those 25 or so channels are going to be all flipped over to digital as of September 20th, at least here in Reston, which means that the Comcast cable system here will be 100% digital after that date. What does that mean? Well, it means that if you got a third or a second TV hooked up just to, if in the olden days, you bought your cable service, you'd get expanded basic, right? You could then, without even Comcast knowing it, just plug in a cable in an additional room into your cable-ready set, and you could watch all those channels. Okay, so you could add a second, third, fourth outlet with Comcast not even knowing. You don't even have to pay for it. Now you gotta, now with everything digital, you're going to need a box. You're going to need a Comcast box of some sort to get those channels, and Comcast will know that you have that second and third outlet, and you will be charged accordingly for it. The full digital set-top box, which gets all the pay-per-view stuff and the on-demand stuff is $9.25 per extra outlet per month, and they also have a digital adapter that you can get for up to 2 outlets for no charge. That you could hook up your additional sets for that to watch at least the limited and expanded basic channels. But that's about all that would get. So anyhow, here's what we're getting from Comcast. As you can see there, these are the channels right here that are going to be flipped over to all digital on or about, as they say, September 20th. And as you can see there, it's the basics. It's channel 4, 5, 7, 9, 50, 14, government access, school access channels, channel 20, C-SPAN, 26, 25, Telemundo, the basic channels that haven't already been flipped over. So if and I imagine, what Comcast doesn't rest in, they're doing elsewhere, okay? So if you're on Comcast and you've got that second, third, or fourth set back in the bedroom or down there in the basement bathroom or wherever, and it's just plugged in, it's an old analog set, and you've got it plugged in with the cable, and you're watching those last remaining 20 or 25 analog channels, they're going to go away very soon. So be warned, be warned, be warned. Big news today, DCR TV breaking news. We're hearing from a very reliable source that Angie Goff over there at Channel 9, she does some of the morning newscast stuff. She does the morning traffic. She's going to Channel 4. She's going to do weekend morning newscasts over there at Channel 4. That's what we're hearing. So, we're breaking the news. So, if I see that on FishbowlDC in the next coming days without crediting us as breaking it, I'm going to be really mad. That Betsy Rothstein over there at Fishbowl, she's taken Politico to the woodshed this morning because they took some little dipshit story about, I don't know, Greta Van Susteren showing up at a Kim Kardashian party. They stole one of her stories without crediting her. So if you get that Angie Goff story, at least say first reported by DCR TV, or else I'm going to come over and cry. Oh wow! What's the rest of the news? Any other big news? I haven't done a Dave TV in the last couple of days because actually I've been busy. I've got a good friend of mine who's moving, and I've been busy running around helping her out. Loading boxes here and there and all that. So building my muscles. ... Arlington is commemorating the Deep Throat Garage. You ever see All the President's Men? Anyhow, that where Bob Woodward met there with Mark Felt, the Deep Throat guy. Anyhow, that was in Arlington, and Arlington County has just put out a little sign now, like this, a little sign about so big that commemorates that garage as the spot where Woodward and Felt met. So there you go. There you go. TV show for Steve Harvey. He's doing mornings, of course, all across the country, and he's heard on WHUR here in Washington. Well, Steve will be launching a new TV show. Looks like a syndicated show that will be aimed to the general public starting next fall, not this fall. So we're looking for the fall of 2012. Okay, what other big news have we gotten here? Okay, that's about it, huh? Yeah, all right, folks. Boop, 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 boop. I am totally speechless. What else do I gotta say? I gotta say, oh, well, whatever. So anyhow, that's the news for today. It's a nice looking, I do enjoy looking at these old phonograph magazines. There's the DC 101 concert line. I don't know if that number is still available, but you can cry, make it an old lady there. Stop calling me. Now, and some DC 101 special offers. Remember, Up Against the Wall? Any pair of jeans, void. What good is that? Special offer, 10% off, Up Against the Void. Okay, well, that's a good thing there. And remember Giant Music? Do you remember when Giant grocery store, they started a music department? They had a music store. It was actually a separate store called Giant Music. And they actually had a Giant department store. Do you remember that? I remember there was one up at Tyson's Corner. And I remember buying a radio there once, going into the Giant department store and buying a Panasonic Big Mouth radio that I used down at college. So, yeah. Anyhow, whatever happened then, that store closed, and then it eventually became a CompUSA, and then they closed. It's funny that drive around the various shopping centers if you've lived here a couple of years, and you go, well, that used to be a Kent Mill over there, and there used to be a Tower Records, and there used to be a Luskin's and a George's and a a Carvel ice cream shop used to be there, and then it turned into a all right, folks, we're hitting the 10-minute mark. Have a good weekend. It's for the 20th here of August 2011. This is Dave TV signing off, saying cut.